Good evening. Welcome to Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. If you're joining us by Zoom, we ask that you use the raise hand feature when it's opportunity to ask questions or make comments. And we're gonna, just a moment, we'll stand for a moment of silence and we'll ask Mark Thomas to lead us in the pledge. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business will be to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Second.
We have a motion second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now it's time for statement and remark from citizens. This is for anything not on the agenda for tonight. Anyone virtually? Thank you. Any statements or remarks from commissioners? I will just remind you, we do have our broadband interest sign up sheet on the website. If you're interested in having your address verified for possible inclusion for the charter project, please go to the website and enter your information. Next item is to discuss updated bylaws for the Animal Services Advisory Committee.
Good evening, Chairman and Board of Commissioners. Thank you for having me. My name is Crystal Briscoe, Manager with the Oconee County Animal Services. I'm presenting to you tonight the proposed updates for the Animal Services Advisory Board bylaws. The proposed bylaws that are before you are derived from 1989 bylaws, 2011 and 2016 amended bylaws. Changes to the bylaws include making all previous bylaws null and void, updating terminology, defining terms, duties and meetings scheduled, and I'll briefly go over the changes. Updated animal control to animal services throughout the document. We updated animal control director to animal services manager throughout the document. Under item 1, the terms, 2016 bylaws did not define staggered terms as previous 2011 bylaws. So we added the terms back in. We clearly defined terms and positions of the board, removed the term posts as positions of the board, added when board members were eligible for reappointment. We added animal services manager has the authority to call special meetings. Was not clarified in the 2016 bylaws. In 2011 bylaws stated the chairperson has the authority to call the special meetings. Under item 2, duties of the Animal Services Advisory Board, line A, we removed Animal Services Advisory Board to advise the Board of Commissioners in connection with policies and programs relating to department, to only advise the department. So basically the Citizen Advisory Board wouldn't be coming directly to the Board of Commissioners asking for policy changes. Line D and E, 2016 bylaws removed, we removed a duplicate line E. And then under item 3, meetings, we added back to the bylaws when meetings are held. This was omitted in the 2016 bylaws. There will be one change in the beginning of the bylaws. We forgot to change animal control in the second paragraph. So I will make that adjustment and resend that for approval. So in summary, I ask you to consider adopting the amended Animal Services Citizen Advisory Board bylaws as presented at the December 7th Board of Commissioners meetings. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions on that?
Mr. Coe, what's the effective date if we adopt it at our next week? What is the effective date? That day?
It'll be next week.
So all the changes will be made effective next Tuesday night. So how will that impact the current citizens that are involved?
The June 30th ends a term for, I believe, one more member. So it will start, the next term will start according to these bylaws.
Okay,
Every
so,
bit,
so they'll finish out their
Their
current appointment time.
yes, sir.
Okay, all right, that answers that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions there? You all right for consent agenda? Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comment? Anyone virtually? Thank you. Next item is discuss the Board of Commissioners meeting schedule for 2022. Y'all got a list of the dates. We've also went ahead and added our town hall meetings for the entire year, so the public will not have advance notice of that. If anybody's got any questions or comments?
The only one I have is the one in July is on the 5th.
Yes. We kicked that around. In the past, we've gone ahead and done it, but I mean, we kicked that around internally and just kind of left it. But if you'd rather go one a week later, it's no big deal for us.
I think, so many people travel.
Mhm.
Not that July is a big, time for people to come, but to me, I would opt to go to another day.
Okay.
Just to make sure those that would like to come, you never know what might pop up on the agenda.
That's right.
So that was my only thought.
So that would be to the 12th. Any other questions or changes there? It'll be all right for consent agenda for the schedule as submitted with the change from July 5th to July 12th. Everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
Any public comment? Anyone virtually? Next item is discuss the Board of Commissioners Vice Chair schedule for 2022 through 2025. And this is our just standard rotation. So our Vice Chair for 2022 will be Commissioner Harden. So, any discussion on that item? You're all right for consent agenda? Any public comment? Any virtually? Our next item will be a presentation on pay-as-you-throw bag program.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is an update and presentation on our pay-as-you-throw program for our solid waste. That's a program that the board has enacted that allows residents to buy special bags to be used at the collection sites, and that helps offset the costs associated with the collection of the solid waste. But we ran into a little bit of an issue with supply chain and getting an order in that we put in June. We typically will place our order in June, and then when the budget's approved in July, we have the bags on order and pay for those for the year. But with this year, it's a little bit different. And so we run into a couple of issues with supply. We've been back and forth with the supplier since June, trying to get an update on when the bags will be available. And we were notified in October that due to their getting materials and their workforce, that they were no longer accepting any orders under 350 cases. And our normal annual order is about 250 cases. So we're low on the priority, and our bags are a custom bag. They're custom color, custom logo on it. And so for that, they're prioritizing their custom orders to larger orders with 1,000 cases or more. So we started looking at options and looked at a standard bag they make. And the problem is it's between the sizes that we were currently using. So we had a large bag that was about 52 gallons and a small bag that was about 15 gallons. This bag, we've ordered them, we have them on hand. They're about 33 gallons. So it's between the two that we offered. So that's what we're bringing to you tonight, is just an update on that and get the board's pleasure in amending the fee schedule for these bags. So with it being between the sizes, Public Works would recommend that we adopt a new fee that's $2.50 because we charge $3 for the large bag, $2 for the small bag, and we're completely out of large bags now. So that would be our recommendation to the board.
What color are the bags now?
They're a bluish color.
Okay, so we're going back to the blue bags.
We're going back to blue bags.
All right.
It's always been with that.
No, they turned them purple or maroon or whatever. it
They
was.
were-
I call them.
Yeah, we still call them blue.
Now, I know it's purple.
Yeah. Very good. Any que-
I guess my question about the bags, not so much about the size of the bag, get that side of it, but, you know, once we color the bag, is the logo, how much does the logo cost on those bags? Because I even asked if we need the logos, because if you got a colored bag, where are you gonna buy that colored bag at anyway, except from us? So
Right.
is there a price difference on it without the logo?
They do charge a price difference and it depends on the material cost at the time. The last order we did was about 39 cents a bag. But if we ordered those today, that would be higher because their materials are going up. The bag that they have, their standard bag, just, they stamp it with official bag instead of putting a custom logo on it. And so these were actually, we got those for 36 cents a bag, and which was a little bit better. And it also, we didn't have to have a minimum order size to get the number of bags with their standard size. So they can do it in a production run and not have to stop their standard production and do a custom setup. So there is some savings there as well.
So could you buy a plain bag with no writing? on it?
I doubt you'll find this color. Cindy has one if you want to see it.
It just says official bags. So these bags we now have in stock don't have it like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Just the
Okay.
standard.
I hadn't used those new one yet.
Yeah, this is the new bag.
And that's how many gallons?
That's about 33 gallons.
33. And the big,
The large one was 52 gallons.
You know, it's a stick-on bag. It's a lot smaller.
that's it, same one size.
Say that again?
This is the only size bag we're gonna have once we sell the smalls.
Oh, we're gonna do away with the small bags once we sell them all?
And there too, but the large bags for free, so if we sell this one at $2.50.
Yes, sir.
If we adjust the fee, how will that impact our budget that was submitted based on?
Based on the revenue.
We need to amend the budget.
There's probably not, there's not enough precision right now to merit a budget adjustment at this point.
Okay. And another question is, how soon will we start getting the standard bags?
We have an order on hand. We haven't shipped them out at this time until the board makes a decision on how we want to charge for them. So if you approve these at the meeting next week, we can get them out to the stores the next day.
Right, and so the supply of the small bag, we'll just continue to sell those until they're sold out.
That's correct.
And they will stay at $2 a bag.
Yes, sir.
Now, we've been selling them at a discount?
We have, since we ran out of the large bag, we have discounted them to $1 a bag because that's the only size we had. And you'd be surprised how passionate people are about their solid waste.
Well, are we gonna go back to $2 for the small bag until they're sold out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That was a temporary reduction, just trying to get through the supply issue.
What, you mentioned about people are passionate about their solid waste and the routine. I guess we're just going to one standard bag. My next question is big, so I'm just curious, when switch to more popular, I guess the larger bags are.
The large bags are popular. That's what all of our retail carriers, all our retail stores carry. And the small bags are available at the collection sites, but people are passionate about the size they buy. So there will be a little bit of feedback about it, but given the supply chain issues, and this is what we could get on hand right now, that's what we chose to do at this time.
Well, I am a user of them, so I don't know about everybody else, but I definitely use them all the time. So, I mean, I like the big ones. I mean, I get 14, 13 gallon bags in there and it's still tight. Sometimes not tight. But it's still thrown in there right way.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess how many stores have the bags in the county?
I don't know right off.
Do they order how many they want, or do y'all give them one?
They'll send an order of what they need, and then we deliver them usually weekly.
Do they get a markup on those, or this is sold to them?
They historically they've got a 10% or 10 cents, not 10%, 10-cent discount on the bag. So if they bought 100 bags, 100 large bags, they would pay $290. I do the math right.
So that's what they get for
Right. There's
10 cents
Just to
a
have
bag.
it.
10 cents a bag just to handle it and offset their cost just a little bit.
But they still come in 5 packs.
Yes.
Talk about trash.
I will tell you, I remember years ago, I don't know if John was on the commission, but it kind of reminded me, I wasn't gonna say anything, but Daniel might remember, we talked about garbage bags and pricing about the blue bags, so it's okay.
Like I said, I use them all the
Feel
time.
like trash. Bag.
Any other questions on that? You all right for consent agenda?
So just for clarification, the real consent agenda item will be ultimately amending the fee schedule to allow the middle bag.
Any public comment? Anyone virtually? Thank you. All right, Jody, you can go ahead and move into the Lmig for 2022.
This item of business is our annual Elmig grant, local maintenance and improvement grant, which we received through Georgia Department of Transportation. And this is funding that we use annually for resurfacing. It can be used for different things, but historically, this funding has been used for resurfacing throughout the county. And it does require a 30% match of the construction funds. And so we've developed a resurfacing program. It's a little bit smaller. We had 2 larger roads that we were looking at with Rocky Branch and Simonton Bridge Road. Both of those we're partnering with Georgia DOT for some safety widening, shoulder widening on those, very similar to what we did on Hog Mountain. And so this would overlay those roads, and it will allow us to restripe the edge lines to give us just a little bit more lane width, and also so it would clean that up. And then I think there was one other road on it, but looking at the funding, what I did was take the miles of roads we did last year, the price we paid, and got a price per mile. And then given where prices have been trending, added 10% just to try to get us, a budget number that would hopefully it's very conservative. And when we did this in about January, we get some decent pricing and can add a few roads to it. But we'll see. This, like I said, the funding is $1.6 million in SPLOST. That's what's set aside annually for the SPLOST program. There's the county received $665,800 from Elmig, and then the remainder, the $244,793, is out of the capital funding that was approved in the FY22 budget.
So you're hitting Rocky Branch.
Rocky
and-
Branch, Simonton Bridge, and I don't remember the third one. Joey Drive.
Any questions on this item?
I don't have any questions. but I'm talking with Justin maybe yesterday. Had the T-Splosh passed, apples being apples and time period being the same, what would be the difference in the miles that we would be able to resurface?
So this is 6.98 miles on this programming. Based on what we were tentatively planning on programming for resurfacing annually out of the T-Splosh, you're probably looking at somewhere between 18 to 20 miles. How much? 18 to 20.
And that would be for the year, a year.
Correct. Would our Elmig match that if we get a flat fee on mills?
The Lmig is a flat rate each year. It's based on a formula of centerline miles and population. And so each year, the Georgia DOT produces a document that just tells you what you're getting for Lmig. So it wouldn't change if we matched more.
On the 2-foot shoulder widening, I noticed that the paving in the schedule is showing from Main Street to the county line. The 2-foot shoulder widening is not going to be the full length, is it?
No, sir, it stops at 3rd Street and goes to the county line.
Are we going to be doing any shoulder modifications, tree removal, that kind of stuff?
We have done some already, but I don't anticipate any more at this time. And then the section from 3rd Street to Main Street, there's not a lot that we can do in the shoulder in that area.
I was also gonna say that as far as that was with a millage rate reduction too. So we left a lot of money on the table.
Any other questions or comments? You're all right for consent agenda? Yep. We have any public comment? You want virtually? Next item is discuss amendments to the solid waste management ordinance and sanitation operations changes.
This item is an amendment to the solid waste ordinance to clarify a couple of things. In the ordinance, as it's written today, specifies that waste cannot be brought into the county and left in the county. What this amendment would do would be to clarify that and specify that it's Oconee County residents are the ones that are able to use the facilities. And so that we have had occasions where a customer would come in with a load of material or garbage or something and say, hey, I'm cleaning out my mother's house over here on whatever street, but their tag is Greene County or Morgan County or whatever county. And you know, our attendants don't have any way of verifying that. And so this would just clarify that to state that the facilities were for Oconee County residents, and it would make it easier for our attendants to be able to verify that when they look at the license and we have talked about doing some kind of hang tag or some kind of program where you could actually go in and verify your address and get a sticker or a hang tag or something that showed that you were a county resident. And also in the solid waste ordinance, it would prohibit commercial vehicles from using the sanitation facilities. Our site down at Macon Highway, which was the site of our old municipal solid waste landfill, we stopped taking waste for that in 1995. And so what we do down there now is act as a transfer station, except for the inert material. And we do have a permit for inert landfills. So everything, the solid waste side that comes in is a transfer that we bring in and then we're paying to haul out. And we've had occasions where people come in to remodel a house and they'll have a trailer full of 2x4s and debris and start filling up the bins and dumpsters that we have down there. So that just, it adds additional costs because we pay per tip. And so that would be what we would recommend there, is just specifying that it was for residential customers. And then also in the inert landfill, we've seen companies that take down trees as a business come in with a trailer full of stuff and then dump it in the inert landfill that, again, is that we have to push up, we have to, take care of. And so it's kind of putting a little bit of a burden back on the taxpayers, of the residential taxpayers. And then there were a couple of other items from operational changes that currently we take propane tanks and electronics. And again, these are pass-through items that we collect and then have a vendor pick up and take to another facility. And so we would like to stop accepting those materials and direct folks to the Center for Hard to Recycle Materials in Athens, the CHARM facility. Oconee County residents are able to use that facility. I think there's a nominal, it's like a $5 fee. There's a small fee that goes with it, instead of us collecting the materials and then having to pay somebody to take them to a facility like that. So we would ask that the board consider this allowing propane tanks and electronics, and just encourage folks to use the CHARM or another facility like that.
That's a summary there.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
I got a couple. Just out of curiosity, if we stop the commercial ventures from using, would they just go to a private landfill?
Yes, sir.
So are they accessible as far as close by?
I know there's a commercial C&D landfill on 78 just across the county line in Walton County. I'm not 100% sure where the closest solid waste landfill is.
So people who are cutting trees down.
There's an inert facility over in Barrow County also that's right off of 316.
Do we have any businesses in Oconee County that are locally owned that's been bringing their inert materials to station?
I don't know definitely, but I would imagine there are.
So those individuals, I guess, will now go to Barrow County.
Yeah, they would go to a private landfill. Yes, sir.
The other question I had, there's two, to talk about the electronics. Again, the effective date, what would be the effective date that we would discontinue accepting electronics?
What we had thought is try to roll this out for January the 1st. So if it's approved next Tuesday night, then that would give us almost a month to advertise these changes and start January the 1st and implement it.
But I think that's one of my concerns, is that if we immediately implement the change, people
Right.
are accustomed to, well, I read it on the website that y'all
Yes.
took this, and now they show up down
Right.
there and no, we can't take it. So,
Right.
So 30 days, you think is enough?
Yes, sir. That's what we were thinking, is try to give them about 30 days notice, roughly a month, and just advertise it, get it out on the website, get it out on the social media, and let everybody know what the changes are and the effective date.
Ask your question as far as like we did with the tires and the batteries. Was that kind of, you call out and send an amnesty day or something?
So that's the tire industry that was, back in the day.
Okay.
If we add batteries in now, they don't actually run that. We add batteries in that.
So where I was headed with that is the tires that we took, were they just a pass through, or did we get anything other than?
We got approved for $9,600 we have to pay it as soon as I get proof that we paid it. Then we can do it.
So if we didn't get the grant, then it would come out of our coffers to underwrite the
Part of
tire.
the recycled materials,
Yes.
which is sort of the reason why we refer everybody to the Charmin. You don't have to post electronics.
Okay.
You know, event, because and people do use that. for spare time. So, a lot of-
Thank you.
Guess my question would be on the, how are we gonna operationally perform tag checking when it comes to these vehicles coming in? Because, you know, I know the setup down there and it pulls up and the vehicle's tag is not obvious at that moment.
Right.
I mean, I don't even, you can walk far enough to even look at the tag.
Currently, our attendants are going out and talking to the vehicles as they're coming in and looking at their license. So that was one of the reasons.
Are we gonna do it by license or tag?
Currently been doing it by license, but if you've got an Oconee County tag or license that has an Oconee County address, either way, we've been going with that. That's one of the reasons we've talked about maybe doing some kind of program where we can verify their address ahead of time and do either some kind of hang tag on the mirror or some kind of sticker or something that they have that. They're like, okay, you know, you've already been checked.
You're talking about multiple user people are doing it multiple times.
Right.
Not just somebody just does it
Yeah, not
once every
somebody
2
just coming
months.
in one load and you never see them for 3 or 4, 6 months.
Any other questions or comments? That'd be all right for consent agenda. Very good, thank you. Any public comment? Anyone virtually? All right, next item is discuss the 2022 alcohol license renewals.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. We have submitted a list of the 2022 alcohol license renewal applicants. All the applications were complete. Their RAS training is up to date and all the fees have been submitted for the ones on the list. We're requesting approval to issue alcohol licenses to these businesses for 2022.
Any questions on this? All right, for consent. Any public comment? Anyone virtually? We do have need of executive session to talk about land acquisition, personnel, and litigation.
Make a motion, we go to executive session, discuss land acquisition, personnel, and litigation.
A motion second, all in favor? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We need a motion to go back in to regular session, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second, all in favor? Daniel?
As I reviewed with you in the executive session, there is a proposed settlement involving two groups of the opioid cases. The first is McKesson Corporation, Amerisource, Virgin Corporation, and Cardinal Health, Inc. They're referred to as the settling distributors, and in the documents, they're the National Distributor Settlement. And defendants Johnson & Johnson and Janssen Pharmaceutical Inc. and Ortho McNeil Janssen Pharmaceuticals Inc., which is known as the J&J settlement. This involves all the cities, counties, states, and other tribal governments, hospitals, sheriffs, everybody that is involved in the multi-district litigation. And we will not know whether it settles or not until we know how many people agree to the settlement agreement. The pot is 26 billion. We don't know what the amount would be that we would get out of it, but it would be proportional based on the damages that we've suffered. This is just the first of the settlement agreements that will come in front of you. There will be others. Who knows how long this will go on? We've been at it 3 years now. And this is the first that we've gotten that's got close to settlement. The state and the county splits the amount that's coming to the state, 75-25. So we get 25% of the counties and cities split 25%. Of the 75% that the state gets, 40% of that has to be spent in the local areas. So if you do the math, that comes out to just a little bit more than we would get as a result of the settlement. So we'll get roughly double whatever the settlement amount is, although we may not be the ones deciding how it gets spent on that second part. So what I would ask you to do is to approve the resolution agreeing to be bound by the memorandum of understanding between the state of Georgia and all of the local government entities that would be involved concerning the national distributor and J&J settlements, and directing the execution of the documents by the chair.
Any questions?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
You have a motion second, any discussion? All in favor? Thank you, motion carries.
That is all.
Commissioner Sacks,
Motion adjourned.
Second.
we are adjourned. Thank you.